Must reflect on the story that's dominating the headlines, though, in terms of football over there in Spain, to do with Real Madrid, a reported fight between Fede Valverde and Aurélien Tchouaméni at training, apparently not for the first time. What is the latest on this situation? And I think it's left Valverde seriously injured, hasn't it?
So Valverde had to go to hospital. He's got a head injury. The club put out a comunicado oficial. This is the statement that you're seeing on your screen is about the actual investigation that the club is going to happen. And they then put out a medical statement saying that Valverde is going to be out for 10 to 15 days with a head injury. That head injury, how did he get it? Well, according to Fede Valverde, there was a little bit of a sort of disagreement between him and Aurélien and Tchouaméni. He slipped and hit his head on a table and then had to go to hospital. That's his version of events. Other versions of events say that these two players came to blows. They had argued yesterday in training and had to be pulled apart. And then today, again, the hostilities resumed and went even further. This is a historically bad situation for Real Madrid because, players have always had disagreements. Ian will tell you, I'm sure, you've seen people really maybe go for each other on the training pitch. But this is just a culmination of more things that have happened and more things that are being leaked as well to the press. I think it's important that we're hearing about all of this because we also heard about Antonio Rudiger supposedly giving a slap to Álvaro Carreras, something that Carreras himself didn't deny. There's all this stuff about Kylian Mbappé and him going on holiday and the petition for him to go out of Real Madrid, 30,000 signatures, all of this stuff. And then this happens today. Now, why is this story being leaked? I might be, how can I put this? In Spanish, they say mal pensado, or someone who's got a bad thought, someone who thinks the worst or thinks of like the machinations going on behind the scenes. Are they maybe putting these stories out and letting people know what a mess it is to potentially justify bringing in José Mourinho? We need someone with a strong arm to put these guys in the right shape. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off the mark, or maybe I'm not, but I just feel a little bit suspicious that all these stories have come out together and we're hearing all about this in quite great detail. All is not well with Real Madrid. We know it's been an absolutely terrible season, but for this to be so public and so bad, it's almost historic. I've been speaking to people and nobody really remembers it being quite this bad. So yeah, an incredible last few days at Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I don't think I need to say anything
covered
else.
It there.
You covered absolutely everything. You took my question away from me, but also understanding that El Clasico is right around the corner, so I don't think timing is very good here. So just to confirm real quickly, you're saying that potentially this could be leaked to maybe make movements at the top of the table here about potentially Mourinho coming in through the door. You think that there's stories potentially, I'm not saying that you know anything or not, Phil, but potentially I am saying that you know something, that these stories are getting leaked on purpose.
And I don't have any concrete information about José Mourinho. What I am doing is putting 2 and 2 together and potentially getting 4. Maybe I'm a little bit wide of the mark and getting 5 or 6. But I think that there is some sense in the conclusion. Why is this happening? Why is this happening now? And why are we hearing all about it? Everything is managed at Real Madrid. Everything is controlled at Real Madrid. It is controlled by one guy at the top who has a lot of control over the media, over the press, over journalists here. So for us to be hearing about this, it's not a coincidence.
Trust Phil to hit the nail on the head when he's got a Rayo Vallecano European final to celebrate.
It's about favouritism right there. Get back beating your arm, mate. On you go.
Good stuff, Phil. Thank you. I'll chat to you soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Ian, I think Phil's sort of categorised it perfectly here, that it just speaks to the mess that we've got at Real Madrid this season. We've had all sorts of going on off the pitch in terms of Xabi Alonso and whatever happened there. You've got on the pitch issues with various different players. And it just shows that this is a club in complete and utter disarray.
Yeah, complete and utter disarray. That's a great way of describing Real Madrid right now. I think often at times we are fooled and sometimes we can have the blinkers on because it's Real Madrid. The historically great Real Madrid, the historic champions of the Champions League. Whenever they were struggling in the Champions League, it's okay because it's Real Madrid. They'll find a way and they'll eventually get to the final, or, we sort of like cover our eyes a little bit and normally we give them a bit of a blessing because it's Real Madrid.
And normally they manage the media narrative, as Phil has often said, so well because they're such a powerful club and they've got people everywhere. Yeah. They're able to always maintain the view that they are in charge.
The problem is that now it's not just about executives controlling this football club, presidents controlling this football club, the media controlling this football club. You have got brand personalities inside that locker room who control their own narrative here. They also have a voice on social media. They're spreading themselves, in my opinion, thin in the media. They're not leaving themselves a leg to stand on because of sometimes what they share on social media and obviously what comes out from that locker room, whether it's leaked on purpose or not. This is a shambolic situation for Real Madrid to be in right now. They're a true embarrassment to Spanish football, I think, right now. And I think they're an embarrassment to themselves. These groups of players, many of them, don't deserve, in my opinion, the opportunity to pull on that jersey next season. That fabulous badge on that chest of yours. When you get the opportunity to put it on, it should be dreams come true and you represent a group of people around the world and the history of that football club. And what we're seeing from this group of players is a bunch of individuals who care more about themselves than they do about anything else. They're all about what I can do. What can I get? How can I receive from this football club? It's not about success at the football club or giving the supporters exactly what they want. And that's trophies, performance, and never say die attitude. We haven't seen that from this group of players, which means only one thing for me. The players have to be changed. You got to get a new group of players in because what they've done at Real Madrid is change coach after coach after coach, and then you go trophyless for a consistent 2 seasons. Not good enough for a club like Real Madrid. And they're very lucky, in my opinion, to still have the supporters backing them. Why? I mean, they fired Xabi Alonso, brought in Arbeloa, a former player, and he's failed. And yet the supporters are still backing the team. But I do think that the players now are starting to hear the jeers of their own supporters for their individual performance and lack of quality because at Real Madrid, they want to be entertained, but more importantly, they want to win.
And it's the dangerous game you play when you sign Galacticos, superstars. You have to accept as well when it's not going well, they're often going to be agitating on social media, looking for things elsewhere.
Who's going to be in charge of that, though, next season, Adam? Yeah. That's the big question. Who can control what's happening at Real Madrid right now? I don't know why they went past Xabi Alonso. That is someone who is a coach, someone who can coach players. He can coach a group of people, human beings. He can get them under control, but you have to give him full power. If you don't give him full power, this is what can happen. They just run wild, these players. They do whatever they want. Fights in the locker room, so it happens pretty much everywhere. But when you see news breaking out of the locker room and you see disappointing performances, terrible results, it's not good enough for Real Madrid. And unfortunately, the coach is the only one you can replace. I'm actually getting to the feeling now that maybe it comes from the president. The players might have to be replaced.